all men. Insane. Think about that. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This week we're going to be talking about why the hashtag not all men argument is just insane. So let's get right into it. So this video, I mean, I've obviously thought this argument was insane for a very, very long time, but this is basically coming up again with the case of Sarah Everard, who was, for most people will know, basically abducted and murdered in the UK. And what was just mind-blowing at the time was that the hashtag not all men was actually trending above her name, which was just so sad. And yet I hope a lot of those tweets were people like me who would hashtag it while condemning it. But also a lot of those people were people who were making the argument of, but it's not all men in that. So that was just kind of insane. And I think just really made me want to do a whole video on this topic. So to even go like back further than that, and you don't know what the not all men movement, I don't know what, why am I even calling it? That's not a movement. It's a hashtag. This is basically whenever a woman says, this was done to me by a man, men do this, basically like this is, men do this thing. Whenever that happens, a lot of people, a lot of men will come in and say, oh, but it's not all men. It's not all men. Not all men do this. In theory, this wouldn't be that bad, you'd think. But there are so many reasons why this is just so bad and so unhelpful and just has no basis in reality or actually helps the situation at all. It's really, really bad. So I'm going to go into it, talk about some of those reasons, and yeah, hopefully we will all learn something as a result. So the first, just most obvious major reason why the not all men hashtag is our argument is so insane is that we know it's not all men. Like, we know that. It's like the ultimate mansplaining example. It's like, we know it's not all men. You don't need to tell us. We know it's not all men. Like, that's where it should end, full stop. We don't, like, no. The problem lies in the fact that we don't know which men it is. And this is where the problem is. We know it's not all men, but we don't know who are the good ones and who are the bad ones. So we have to be wary of all of them. Like, how is that hard to understand? It's not like the bad men have a sticker on their face that says, oh yeah, stay away from me. And that the good ones are like, woo, yeah, like we don't know which ones it is. So like, we have to be wary of all of them. And that is a completely rational, logical thing to think, I think. But furthermore, yeah, it might not be all men, but it is all women. Every single woman you know has a story about being sexually harassed on the street, sexually assaulted, their ass being grabbed, being stared at, being cackled, being hissed at, being fought. Every single woman you know has a story like this. So yes, while not all men might be doing those things, every single woman you know has a story like this. So that, again, should just be trumping the whole not all men argument. Like, why aren't we hearing yes, all women more often? So now some really, really good examples that I think are really, really helpful in this whole debate that I just think are marvelous. So let's talk about some of them. So one is like the shark analogy. So it goes, and I'm paraphrasing, it's like, okay, you have 500 sharks, only 3 of them are like, carnivores, human eating, dangerous sharks. You are going to be scared of all sharks. Like, you are not going to go swimming into a big sea with a load of fins next to you and be happy out. No. Even though you know only 3 of them could potentially eat you, you're going to be scared of all of them. Like, does that not just make complete sense? Like, yeah, we know it's not all sharks, but some of them are really, really dangerous. Like, you're not just going to be happy out of, where with the sharks? Take my chance. No, you're going to be scared of all of them. And to follow on that metaphor, if you think about that, like, everyone you know has been eaten by a shark. Even though only 3 of them are eating sharks, everybody you know has been eaten by a shark. So again, does that not make you absolutely freaked of all sharks? Think about that. The other one is snakes. So if you have 1,000 snakes coming towards your house, doors wide open, you're like, oh my God, and someone tells you only 10 of them are poisonous, are you gonna leave that door open and hope that the 990 non-poisonous snakes get in. No, you're going to shut the door because you are not taking the chance. You're like, 10 of these are poisonous. I don't know which ones. I'm going to close my door and be weary of all of them. You can know that not all the snakes are poisonous and also be afraid and close your door at the same time. Both of those things can be true. Then another example, which I thought was kind of funny, was like, you have a pack of peanuts, say 100 peanuts, and 20 of them are gone off. They're just violently disgusting. And you could die if you ate one. You're not gonna go picking around in the pack hoping that you find one that isn't gone off or that isn't dangerous. You're probably gonna throw the whole pack out because you can't take the chance. And again, you know that not all the peanuts are disgusting, but you're like, I'm not taking this chance. Ew. You're gonna throw the whole thing out. So again, you can know that not all this stuff is dangerous, but you are not taking the chance. Another example. There's so many. It's so good. I love these. I'm so glad people are coming up with these. These are not my own. I've just seen these. So another example is robbers. You know not everyone is going to rob you, but you still lock your door. You lock your car, you lock your house, you have your security system. You know not everyone's going to rob you, and you are still taking precautions. That is absolutely fine. And if you are getting triggered by that, you need to ask yourself, why? If someone's there saying like, oh, but like the robbers, like all robbers are bad, and then you're saying, well, not all robbers are bad. You know what you sound like? A robber. That's what you sound like. Are you not mortified for yourself? Just like those men who were like, well, it's not all men. You know what you sound like? You sound like a man who would do those things. That's what you sound like. I don't know. I'm just saying. It's not a good look. So those are just some amazing examples that I love. More arguments as to why this is ridiculous is the fact that all these men who are like, oh, not all men. Men are great. You only seem to be talking about how great men are when women are maybe bashing some of them. So I never see you talking about how great men are at other points in your life. So you clearly don't really care about building men's reputation up. You actually just care about women not speaking their truth and bashing them. Like, it's just so silly. And it's just like, when these people get really, really triggered by this, like, it's not about you, but maybe if you're getting so triggered about it, maybe it should be about you. Like, is this about you? Do you think you're one of those people? But even if you're not, like, why are you so offended by the bad ones being called out by this? Like, if you're not part of that group, why are you so afraid of the bad ones being called out by this? Like, do you want the bad ones to just be not called out and just to be going around continuing like nothing's wrong? Like raping women and murdering them and sexually harassing them? Is that what you want? It's really weird. And it's just, like, it's bad for men. Like, it's in your interest to make men better. Like, it's like, we don't want to have to be here bashing men. We want men to be better, and you should want men to be better. This is your reputation on the line. Like, we don't like having to bash men. We don't like, you know, the good ones thinking that, you know, we're bashing them. But if you cared so much, like, instead of telling us, oh, it's not all men, like, go ahead and speak to your fellow men, your own kind, and tell them, guys, like, this really isn't good. Like, we need to stop harassing women. Like, if men stopped harassing women, we would stop needing to call them out. Like, this is, like, we're all on the same team here. Like, you don't need to come at us with the not all men. That does not help anything. And it's also just like, when they come at us with the not all men, it's like, why are you defending men you don't even know? Like, that's, like, you're defending people you don't even know. When every single woman you do know has been sexually harassed or followed, or to pick one from the long list of things that are done to women. Like, every single woman you know has had something done to her. But here you are defending men that you don't even know? Like, that, is that just not so weird? But, like, okay, then let's say, all that aside, let's follow the logic. Not all men. Okay, brilliant, not all men. Do you want a medal? Like, that's just, I mean, let's just follow it to that conclusion. Do you want a medal for not raping women? Do you want a medal for not murdering women? Like, is that what I'm to get from this? Because not all men, the argument is so, it's so stopping. It's so like, okay, that's where the argument stops, or the debate stops. It derails the conversation. It dismisses women's experiences. It doesn't add anything to the conversation. But if we were really to follow it, it's like, okay, well, do you want a medal for not raping women? Like, you're just seeking praise and validation for something that is like the bare minimum, or that really should be expected of normal people in this society. Like where do where do you want the conversation to go? That's what I want to know. Where do you want the conversation to go after you say not all men? Like, I don't know. I don't understand where you want that to go. And like, bottom line, it's just what kills me is the fact that it's just so unoriginal. Like, all these men, not all men, come in and they say not all men, thinking that they are the first person in history to make that comment when it's literally trending over a dead woman's name on Twitter. Like, this argument has been done. Like, it's been done. Like, we've heard it. I'm here making a video about it because we've heard it. So, like, you are just so not original. Like, that's actually just what kills me. It's just like, think of a better argument. Think of something valid that I could maybe engage with you on. But not all men is not one of them. Like, try and be unique. And just what it tells me is that you really don't ever engage in this debate, because if you or cared about women's issues ever, because if you had, you would have known that the not all men argument is a very common occurrence. So the fact that you're saying it right now tells me that you have never gotten involved in this before, whereas we've all been in this. Like, we are women, so we've experienced it, but we're also in the fight against it. Like, we've been here. Where have you been? And you just come in now and you say, oh, not all men, it's not all men, guys. And you want praise, or you want us to be surprised, or you want us to say, okay, yeah, it's not all men, full stop. Where do we go from there? Do you know what I mean? Where do we go? So yeah, I hope I've made it clear that this argument is just so unoriginal, so not helpful, so dangerous, so pointless, so silly, and just so not nice to every single woman who has experienced something. No, it is not all men, but it is all women. And that's what you should be focused on instead. So thank you for watching this video. I hope whoever you are that you learned something. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. Leave a comment down below or give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or learned something. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.